Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watch 9. Your meteorologist just be here. We're going to talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into your future. First off, before we even get into that, you know what we do on Wednesday evening, because it is that time. We have officially made it halfway through the week. Yes, we've made it halfway through the week. We only have to get through Thursday and Friday, and we will be at the weekend. That's number one. Number two, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, we have around a good 4 people that are watching right now, and 4 likes. So it seems like everyone has hit the like button for now. We'll see if that changes. But if you have not done so, go on and do so. Also, if you have not hit the subscribe button either, subscribe. It's free. And you can change your mind at any time if you ever want to. And then also share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, even people that you don't even talk to, as that would also be another big help for here for us. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, I think before we get to the main thing, we're going to talk about the weather for currently. What's currently going on throughout the state. We'll talk about the weather for tonight. We'll talk about tomorrow and tomorrow night, because I know, everyone distracting on the snow, but we cannot forget about tomorrow night. We cannot forget about tomorrow night and Friday morning. Those, like that morning, that night going into that morning, Thursday night going into Friday morning, we will be down in the low 20s, all the way potentially, like the inland coastal areas getting near like the low 20s, high 20s. So, as much as, a lot of people want to talk about the snow, we got to get through Thursday night and Friday morning, where temperatures will be down in the 20s, some even in the teens as well. So we're going to talk about that before we talk about the snow as well. And then we're going to talk about the short-term future. We're going to talk about the long-term future, all of that stuff. And then the potential for that winter precipitation Saturday going into Sunday. And then below normal temperatures as well. And there might even be some possible cold weather advisories. And same thing for Thursday night going into Friday. Cold weather advisories, I think that they will happen likely for pretty much all of the state. And it will be well below normal. So I think for now, we'll see what happens, but I definitely think some cold weather advisories are going to be coming in. But let's go on and talk about what's going on currently first. Well, right now, nothing. Right now, throughout the entire state, no rainfall is falling, nothing like that, so we are good. What about the entire U.S.? Well, right now, it looks like that we do, in fact, have some rainfall going on over here from Maine, going into New York, some mixed precipitation with some snow, in New York as well. Pennsylvania getting in on some rainfall, as well as Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama getting in on some rainfall. Same thing with Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida getting in on some of that rainfall. Snowfall going on in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, even over there inside of western Pennsylvania. Maybe some snow flurries going on potentially up there inside of North Dakota as well. Now, what's going on in terms of our cloud cover? Well, cloud cover right now actually seems to be more on the heavier side, especially if you're up there inside of the upstate, that low country area, that might have some cloud covers down there. Midlands might have some cloud cover down there. But the PD area is also looking relatively more on the clearer side. Right now. Give me 1 second. Make sure that this isn't doing... Yeah, no, it's not doing that. Okay. Alright, we should be good then. But going on to look at our cloud cover for the future, we go in and push this forward right here. And you can see as we move throughout the nighttime going into tomorrow morning, this is only 2 o'clock in the morning, but technically tomorrow morning, cloud cover moving throughout the Midlands, going throughout that coastal area, the upstate, looking a lot clearer as we go throughout the night. And then as you get to around 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, look at how clear it is throughout the state. We go all the way to 11 o'clock in the morning, looking clear. We will have some clouds out there. We will have some, but it's going to be mainly more clear than usual. And the reason why I say more clear than usual is just because we've seen a lot of cloud cover lately. If we go over to around 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, cloud cover now, just moving throughout the upstate, moving throughout the Midlands, moving throughout pretty much all the areas right now, but it's not as cloudy, not as not as overcast, for example. We go over towards 10 o'clock p.m., nice and clear at this point in time. And then we'll see some more cloud cover again on Friday morning. Not going to last too long. This will be inside the upstate throughout the night. And then we start to see some more on Friday at 7 o'clock. So we have a lot. In terms of cloud cover, just switching back and forth, going from clear skies to cloudy skies to clear skies to cloudy skies. And it's just going back and forth. Now, what about for our live temperatures? Well, right now we have around a good 45 in Somerville, 47 in Charleston, and 48 in Beaufort, 50 in Hilton Head Island, and 46 in Orangeburg, 45 in Georgetown, and 46 in Murray's Inlet, 47 in Myrtle Beach, and 44 in Conway, 45 in Florence, and 48 in Columbia, 48 also inside of Lugoff, and 46 in Bennettsville, 48 Newbury, and 48 inside of Greenwood, 47 in Anderson, and 48 inside of Lawrence, 46 in Greenville and Clemson, as well as 48 in Spartanburg, Gaffney, 47 in Newark, and Rock Hill. Now, what about for your low temperatures for tonight? You have around a good 25 in Greenville, 25 in Spartanburg, as well as 27 in Rock Hill, 27 in Greenwood and Newbury, and 31 in Columbia, 31 also inside of Aiken, 34 in Orangeburg, and 32 in Barnwell, 34 in Sumter, and even around 35 in Kingstree, 38 Moncks Corner, 40 Charleston, 35 in Walterboro, and 40 in Hilton Head Island, 38 in Georgetown, and 40 inside of Myrtle Beach. Now for your high temperatures for tomorrow, these are not your high temperatures. Something's going on with the website to where, even when I go in and click on the max temperatures, for some reason it always brings me back to Monday. So I think that's something on their end that they have to fix. But here's the actual high temperatures: 39 in Greenville, 37 in Spartanburg, as well as 38 in Rock Hill, 40 in Lawrence, and 41 in Greenwood, Newbury, 43 in Columbia, and 42 in Camden, 43 Sumter, Florence, 42 inside of Aiken, and 45 in Barnwell and Orangeburg, 46 in Walterboro and Moncks Corner, as well as 47 in Georgetown, 48 in Charleston and Hilton Head Island, and 46 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall for tonight, not expected. We're not expecting any sort of accumulation, I should say. No accumulation is expected tonight, meaning that, we're not going to get any standing, rainfall or any sort of standing snowfall, even though I've seen on some area forecast discussions, especially at the National Weather Service at Charleston, National Weather Service at Columbia, where they did put out that potential. Now, I don't see it on radar, but it says potential for some snowfall. Now it says rain chances continue today. This is at 7:09. Rain chances continue today with a very slight chance of flurries late tonight. Like I said, the models aren't really saying that. But like I said, if it was to form, and we did get some flurries over there inside of the Midland areas, it would not be much. In fact, it just would not. It wouldn't accumulate into anything. Would not accumulate into anything. I also do want to go on and look at the crazy score for tonight. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how crazy the weather is throughout the state of South Carolina. And right now we're at a 34. Why? Well, there will be a strong cold front that passes, with that sharp wind shift and gusty northwest winds developing 20 to 30 miles per hour by tomorrow morning. Those are going to be the dominant noticeable elements, enough to sway branches, create wind noise, blow around unsecured objects, set up for a breezy/dry condition Thursday, and there might even be a lake wind advisory, and that's why we push inside the noticeable wind territory. And not only for that, but also they don't really talk about it much, but the fire weather for tomorrow going into potentially Friday. It's going to be dry, winds are going to be up, no rainfall, nothing like that. And according to, like I said, we were just talking about what the National Weather Service of Columbia just said. They made a little change to their forecast where they said that with the relatively little amount of rain falling today, there's a higher chance for elevated fire danger tomorrow. So, because there was no rainfall that fell, that not as much rainfall as they thought was going to fall, that actually pushed up the fire weather conditions over there inside the Midland area. So, a lot to look at. A lot of things will go to it, but right now they still do not have a fire weather outlook for us yet. Not at the Storm Prediction Center. They still do not have any sort of fire weather conditions for us yet. So, we're going to continue to wait on it, see what they have. But for right now, still nothing. Now, what about the SPC outlook for tonight? Thunderstorms are not expected for tonight, tomorrow, and Friday, so we're good in terms of thunderstorm activity. So now let's go in and look at the excessive rainfall outlook. Nothing for day 1, nothing for day 2, nothing for day 3, nothing for day 4, and nothing for day 5. So we are good in terms of excessive rainfall for all of the next 5 days. So let's go and look at the models. So we're going to start off here in the short-term future. And we're going to just push this forward. We start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. And if we go in and push this forward, like I said, you're not seeing any sort of snow flurries or anything like that. I do see some up there in the mountains, but not quite inside in the Midlands. I do see like a little isolated shower going on over there inside the low country around 5 o'clock in the morning-ish or so. Probably not enough to accumulate anything, but it is there. You continue this forward even more to 10 o'clock in the morning, to 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, and we just stay dry all the way through the 15th, throughout the 16th, all the way through until finally we get to around the 7 p.m. area, and you finally start to see some rainfall / some snowfall coming in towards the state 7 o'clock p.m. on the 16th, that being Friday. Now, like I said, that's not the main day. The main day that we're looking at is Saturday night going into Sunday. So, will this even make it? Will any snowfall make it into the state, or will it just be rainfall? Right now, too far out to tell. 48 hours out. That's the short-term model. We can't go to the NAM to see what the NAM has to say, though. The NAM model doesn't even have anything for it until you get to around 1 o'clock in the morning, and for the NAM, that's still too far out for it. So the NAM does have it getting out a little bit later than what the ARRR does. So that's pretty much all that I have to say here for the short-term future. Not really too much. We can't talk about the dew points, though, because I do want to go and look at this cold front. Cold front pushing through right here around 10 o'clock p.m., 11 o'clock p.m. That cold front's now moving through the upstate at that time, moving through the Midlands around 1 o'clock in the morning-ish to around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, going throughout like the Petey area around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, low country, Grand Strand area earlier in the morning tomorrow around like 6 o'clock, maybe going around 7 o'clock, then reaching the coastal area by around 7 to 8 o'clock. And you can see that wind shift. You can see how the winds are, pointing down towards the south and west. Look at when the cold front passes. All of these winds shift to the north and west. And so that's what we're looking at here in terms of our just short term for these dew points, and also for temperatures as well. If we go in and look at temperatures, you can see as early as we get into 2 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, it's already below freezing up there inside the upstate. So you're not gonna get your low temperatures until like 4, 5. Possibly even to around like 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. So you're not going to get your low temperature until very far down the line. And then you'll even see some, below freezing temperatures potentially down over there. As late as 8 o'clock in the morning in the Midlands still. And then I'm still watching for, around 12 o'clock p.m. We're only getting high temperatures up there inside the mid-30s. And then we go into tomorrow night, the Thursday night going into Friday morning territory that I've been talking about. Where at 1 o'clock in the morning, it will be pretty much already below freezing throughout the entire state. And then it's going to only get worse. 5 o'clock in the morning, everybody's still below freezing. We will stay below freezing. At least the entire state will try to stay below freezing for about like a good 7 hours. And a lot of us will be down in the 20s mark. Some will be low 30s, but that's where we seem like where we stand at right now. And even if you go in and look at wind chills as well, because wind chills is also another big factor for when it comes to these temperatures. Let me go in and pull out the wind chills for, this goes all the way from Friday, Friday 7 o'clock in the morning here. There it is. Wind chills, all the way down, 28 near Charleston, 18 Columbia, 17 in Greenville, 18 Spartanburg, 14 in Rock Hill, 21 in Myrtle Beach. So these wind chills will be going down low, going all the way from Thursday night into Friday. So, like I said, pets, make sure they're brought inside. Plants, make sure they're brought inside, put inside of a garage. Check on neighbors. Make sure that you go on, and if you have to go on in, you know, drain any outside water that you have. If you don't have like any pipes that are wrapped, or like I said, you can also drip them, or you can go on and open up cabinets into your house so the heat from the house can get down towards them. So a lot of stuff that you could do, and there's probably a lot of other stuff that you could do as well to prepare for these temperatures. Rather, if you have, garden to protect, or rather if you have like a blanket that you could put over any plants if you can't bring them inside anywhere, or at least try to get them away from those wind chills and away from the wind. But that's pretty much all here in terms of the short-term future. Now it's time to talk about the long-term future. We'll talk more about, this as we go into tonight, going into, not tonight, but tomorrow, going into tomorrow night. We'll talk more about, this Thursday night, Friday morning threat. Time is in the top right corner of your screen, as always. But as we go in and move this forward, we're going to start off here on the 16th. We're going to start off here on the 16th. You go in and push this forward right here. And you can already see the start for that snowfall right there on January the 18th, 7 o'clock in the morning. And you're seeing snow all the way throughout the upstate. You're seeing snow, rainfall at least, going all the way down to the Midlands and the Low Country and the Petey and the Grand Strand areas. Then as you move all the way to 1 o'clock p.m., that snowfall shifts. It now shifts from the upstate, bringing some rain behind it now. Now bringing snowfall to like the Midlands now, into the Low Country a little bit, inside the PD area. And it's going to continue to move its way west, just over and over and over again, until it moves out of here completely. So again, like I said, 7 o'clock in the morning, that going on up there in the upstate. Then it kind of just continues to move its way east as we get more and more throughout the day on the 18th. And so the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, is Sunday. So that's, it was supposed to be Saturday night going into Sunday. But according to the GFS, it only shows really Sunday. Even if we go on and look at the Euro as well, the Euro actually has probably kind of like a best case scenario if you want snow, especially if you're inside that PD and that Midland area. As it brings snowfall all the way up, all the way into like the Grand Strand area. So it kind of misses, parts of the upstate, misses parts of the Low Country, but for the most part, brings a good amount of snowfall to this area, from the Midlands over inside the Grand Strand areas and PD areas. Now, what about the CMC? The CMC actually thinks that for the most part there's not going to be any snowfall. So that's why we're still saying possible, because all models still don't agree yet. And until they all agree on the timing, we can't say for sure. That is the wrong one. That is really the wrong one. We go back to the icon now. The icon, you go in and push this forward. The icon doesn't have any snowfall occurring either. So, like I said, 2 out of the 4 models that I just showed you don't even have any snowfall going on throughout the state, just in general. We can go to some other models like the GEFS, but this really only just shows patterns. So I don't really think that would really do anything here either. So probably not the best one. The AI GFS one and the Euro AI one might actually work as well. Let me go down to the AI GFS. Yeah. This one shows a good amount of rainfall coming through. I mean, it might, I'm looking at this cold air, I'm looking at this rainfall, and then if I compare it over to the actual temperatures, I mean, I don't think that it really has that snowfall coming in either. Even if we move on to the Euro AI one as well, we go into the precipitation for it. Has a good amount of the precipitation happening like around here. In the upstate, moving its way down throughout the Midlands, throughout the coastal areas as well. But I am going to look at now the temperatures for it, and the temperatures for it don't really reflect it too much. So like I said, still a lot of models that don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to have to continue to wait on that and see what happens. But I did go on and check out and see. We'll just look at the drought monitor for right now. But I did go on and check out and see on the actual WPC's forecast for snowfall for around like the next 1 to 3 days or so in terms of winter storm impacts. And for the most part, it has a little bit up there inside like the mountain areas, but nothing else much than that. And that's really going to be like day 3-ish or so. That's going from the 16th going to the 17th. The one that I think we probably need to look at the most, though, is if we go to models, we go over towards the actual GFS one as well. And then we can go over towards the forecast loop instead and see what this one has. We're probably going to be very similar to the GFS, but you see in like kind of a more clear picture here almost, as you have snowfall, like I said, going throughout that low country region, going throughout that Petey area as well. So the big question here is still, we still have a lot of questions for. Still have a lot of questions. Number one, what's the timing going to be? Right now, models are still changing left and right, forwards and backwards. We still don't know the exact timing for it yet. That's number one. Number two, we still got to figure out what's going on with this rainfall. Will the rainfall go on and kind of like impact the totals like I think it might can, especially for when it goes towards, will it decrease the totals? Will the rainfall not really impact it as much? And also, will it be full out snow? Will it be sleet? Will it be ice? That's all that we're looking at right now. But right now, I'm not really seeing anything in terms of like sleet or ice or anything like that. But we're right now around like a good 4-5 days it's out. So I'm more looking at the timing and then the storm type. I think we pretty much locked in that it's probably going to be snow. The timing, that's still what we're looking at right now. And then once we get 1 to 3 days out and it's still there, that's when we can start talking about, snowfall amounts. We can start talking about the location. We can start talking about, you can really start talking about like almost exact timing once we get to around 1 to 3 days out. But for right now, like I said, we're just seeing, what's going on in terms of the cold air, what's going on in terms of the convection for it, and also consistency as well, and see if the other models will jump on with it. But that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms for the snowfall right here. Let's go even further out into the future. We're going to go back over here towards the GFS. You push this forward past all that snowfall, and we stay dry. We stay dry for the most part. We're also going to be cool as well after all of that snowfall there moves its way through. Going to continue to be cold, bringing some rainfall maybe again on like the 22nd, 23rd. Another little cold front right here on the 25th. And then for the most part after that, remember, still staying dry after that. I do want to go on and look at the cold fronts as well. We start off here on the 15th. Tomorrow, that cold front will be pushing through. We have another cold front again on the 17th going on inside the 18th. And then, like, the 20th going to, like, the 21st, we'll have another cold front. Then we'll have another cold front on around, like, the 25th. And then, after that, I think we're about trying to, like, wrap up our just rapid-fire cold fronts. But more is definitely coming at that time, though. And also, if we go in and look at the actual anomalies as well, like I was talking about as we go into next week, we definitely will start off the week next week cooler than average. And then we can also go on one more quick thing before we go on and talk with the audience. I want to go on and see these exact temperatures and just continue to show you how these freezing temperatures as well will just go on and continue to impact the state for multiple days, just over and over and over again, until we get to around like the 21st, the 22nd, But then some more cooler, freezing temperatures will kind of like try to stay throughout the state. So I think the rest of this month will really be highlighted in terms of freezing temperatures and what that has to do in terms for our, plants, in terms of, anything that can impact your outdoor plans or anything like that. And so I think that's about all that we have to talk about here. So let's go ahead and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. starting off, we have my Aunt Lula here first. He says, "Good evening, everyone. I pray that everyone has a great day. Had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for that." Mr. Chris says, "Good evening, everyone. Starting to get cold in Monk's Corner. It's currently 44, wind chill of around 39. I'm at my house right now. If I go in and check that out, temperatures right now seems like it's around 45, and it feels like 45. So nothing in terms of wind chills. My old one says 44. Mount Lewis says today in Georgetown it started out very cloudy and cool. Same thing at my house, it was cloudy this morning. Mr. Chris says not looking forward to the snow coming this way. We're still looking at stuff in terms for its timing. And will that cold air be there at the time that the convection is there? And, rainfall and stuff like that. But for right now, like I said, we're just going to have to continue to wait. So I'm not saying 100% that it's going to snow in every portion or, that you're going to get like a whole bunch of snow. We just got to continue to wait for it. Mr. Anthony said, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." And then, my Aunt Lula says, "I don't care too much about getting any snow, but I will have to deal with it." My Nan says, "Hello, Jay. Hello to you." And then Mr. Chris says, "Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow." He's absolutely correct. Right now, we have around a good 34. We've had 34 people tune in tonight. And we have only 9 likes. 34 people have tuned in, and we only have 9 likes. If you are a part of that group of 25 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. Also, subscribe if you're new. Trail says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings to you." Thad says, "Good evening, Joseph and Weather family. I trust all is well. Very windy morning this morning, but not too unbearably cold. It was kind of nice." Well, we were talking about that yesterday for San Antonio about how you will have those 30, 35 mile per hour wind gusts today. His current temperature is 57, clear skies throughout. Alexa is telling me it's going to be a low of 37 tonight, but I do not believe her, and you probably shouldn't from the low temperature I'm about to show you. And then Mr. Chris says, "I stay about a half a mile from the lake, and the wind is starting to come up. During the snow, will you be going live?" That's really just going to be at a main time decision. Right now, I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on it and see what happens. But it would be more like a Sunday live stream. And so actually, I'm gonna go in and get my computer thing as well because I have my old computer is still over there. So I'm gonna go and get that stuff hooked up just in case if I want to go live for it and start that up. So I won't have to do it on this computer. I can just run it on that one. And then VRFS Mastermind says, "Hello, sir. How are you?" I am great. Hopefully you're doing well as well. How much snow can Manning, South Carolina possibly get up to? Right now, like I said, it's just too far out for right now. You still have this rainfall over here. You still have, that's going to mix in with the snowfall. If we go in and look at that again, right over here, you see how we have all of this rainfall and the snowfall mixing. That's a sign right there that we still just have to continue to wait on it, and continue to wait on these conditions for it to see exactly what's going to happen. But I mean, if you go in and look at snow totals from what the GFS says, it says right now probably not that much. Says right now probably maybe like a tenth of an inch up to an inch or so. Not much at all. So if you did get any accumulation, that's probably about as much as you would get. According to this model run, but like I said, things will change over and over and over again. So like I said, we're just going to continue to wait on it. He also said, "I really love snow. I hope we get a good bit so I could be off." I'm hoping the same thing, but the way how they do school now, you still have to do it online. So very unfortunate, but we will still deal with it. And it looks like that's probably going to be like going into the weekend as well. And we won't even have school on Monday either, especially due to MLK Day. And then my Aunt Lewis says, "How much snow will we get in South Carolina if we get any?" Like I said just a little bit ago, not much. According to this model run right here. You see some areas, 1 inches, 2 inches, maybe some around 3 inches, but that's about all that I can see. Even if we go in and push it forward even more, that's it. And so that's about all that I can see for me. So let's go on now and talk about the full locations outside of South Carolina. What are the full locations outside of South Carolina? You might be asking. Well, it's San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and discuss their areas. And the great thing about it is that their area is not even the main one being talked about, yet they still show their support either way. So we're going to go on and talk about San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight around 41, high temperatures tomorrow at around 66, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around a good 44. In terms for our severe weather, excessive rainfall for you right now, it looks like that you're going to just kind of be inside of the no category for both of them. So I wouldn't really be expecting anything too bad. And then in terms for your future, it looks like that you're going to cool down. You have a little bit of a warm day Friday, it seemed, but then you'll cool back down like 57 on Saturday. And so, yeah, your Alexa, like you were talking about, says the low was 37. The low for tonight's actually around like a good like 41. So not too far off. Like I said, not too far off, 4 degrees off, but I think that it could definitely be a little bit more accurate than that. But it matters on, what they use for their models and all that kind of stuff, because it might be something completely different from what I'm using. But we'll see tomorrow. I will check out the observed temperatures tomorrow and see what they say. And then for Raleigh, you have low temperatures tonight at around 30, high temperatures tomorrow at around 42, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 18. It's going to be no precipitation for you. You will indeed have that chance of snowfall as well. Same thing on Sunday, like we do over here in South Carolina, and a chance of rainfall on Saturday. In terms for your temperatures, it looks like they're going to try and rise back up until around Sunday, and then they'll drop back down. Now, what about Philadelphia? Low temperatures tonight around 33, high temperatures tomorrow at around 35, and then low temperatures tomorrow night around 21. Rain is likely tonight, and no precipitation is expected tomorrow. So you're good there. You will have your higher temperatures during the morning, as it will drop to around 30 degrees by 5 o'clock p.m. So you will have your warmer temperatures earlier during the day. You also will potentially receive some snowfall on Friday night, and then some rainfall / some snowfall on Saturday. And in terms for your temperatures, it looks like that it's going to drop down just even lower than what they are. On Tuesday, your high temperature is 26 and your low temperature is 15 degrees. So if that just tells you how cold it is, that doesn't tell you how cold it is. When your high temperature is in the 20s, I don't know what will. And then in terms for Duncan, Oklahoma, the last location with low temperatures tonight at around 27, high temperatures tomorrow at around 63, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 37. Precipitation not expected at this time. But tomorrow, you'll see some gusts up to around 20 miles per hour. So tomorrow, so nothing too bad, but a bit breezy. In terms for your temperatures right now just continue to kind of drop. 55 on Friday, 48 on Saturday, and then we'll take a little bit of a rebound and kind of stay in that 50s from Sunday going all the way into Wednesday. And that's all that I can see here. Severe weather and excessive rainfall for you. You do have a little bit of a fire risk on Friday, so make sure you're watching for that. 40 to a 69% chance of some fire critical conditions, so make sure that you're watching for that on Friday. And that's all that I can see here for us. So let's go on now and talk about what's going on in terms of the entire U.S. A Clipper-like system will drop down from Canada on Thursday, bringing wintry weather from the upper Midwest towards the Great Lakes through Friday. The system is expected to bring strong northerly winds to much of the northern and the central high plains on Thursday afternoon through Friday, with gusts of up to around 60 miles per hour expected. So that's going through the upper Midwest, the Great Plains, the High Plains, the Great Lakes, all those areas, but mainly inside of the High Plains areas, where There'll be gusts of up to 60 miles per hour from Montana to Wyoming to North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, all of those areas as well. And then we also will see some freezing, some cold weather advisories are out right now for a lot of the South, but especially down there in Florida. Florida, they're going to be freezing down there as well. So they will also have to be watching out for that cold night from Thursday night going into Friday, the night that I've been talking about now for a long time now. And then some dense fog over there in California, and then some air stagnation over there inside of the west, the northwest. And so I think that is about all here. So again, look at your current condition. Like I said, absolutely nothing, and that will continue as we go all the way out throughout tonight. Let me go on and check out the chat one more time. Mr. Chris says, everyone, please remember to stay safe and warm. Please check on the elderly and pets and stay hydrated as well. Absolutely. Make sure that you do that, as it's going to be another cold night, especially if you're up there inside of the upstate. Top fans of the night tonight. It seems like right now that Mr. Chris still has his top spot. But if I go in and check down, I believe my Aunt Lula is still at number 2. And then Thad is at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to go on and be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And also, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. You have to be here early. And you have to be active inside the chat. So more than just 1 or 2 chats or something like that. And that's all that I see here. So I will be back tomorrow morning for your Thursday morning forecast update. Let's get through tomorrow so we can be to Friday. Make sure, like I said, hit the like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're at 652 trying to get to 700. We are right now 48 away from that main goal of 700. And we are 23 away from that 3/4 of the way goal, 675. And I will be back tomorrow. Like I said, hit those 2 buttons before you leave.